All right. Hey, Amy, thank you so much for joining me
Hey, Ryan.
today. And I just want to quickly introduce Amy here. Ryan Moore with Builders International. Amy Flattery is going to be leading our team, our host. She's our teacher and lead host for the first ever Ancient Construction Sites of the Holy Lands tour. And I am very excited about that. Amy is the director of Center for Holy Land Studies with Assemblies of God. Amy, after college, she spent 5 years, right, Amy, living in Israel,
Yeah,
studying. You said the origins of Christianity,
yeah,
basically when during Jesus's time,
yes.
and you speak Hebrew, and you've been to Israel beyond the number of times you've kept count, but many, many times.
Yeah, I just don't know anymore.
And you're going to be our teacher. I'm really excited to have you leading us. I so appreciate that.
Oh, I'm so excited to do it. It's a very cool tour.
Yeah, and I know another quick touch point here. Amy Flattery, married to Mark Flattery, the director of Network 211. So, quick plug there to a fellow international ministry leader and international friends at Network 211. And plus, you're a licensed Assemblies of God minister on top
Yep.
of all that. And so, we're thrilled to have you leading us, and really looking forward to the trip.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
so excited.
what would you say about this trip? It's a little bit maybe different approach to a Holy Land trip,
Yeah, it is. We've never done a trip just solely focused on building and
right?
buildings in the land. But when I thought about it after you brought the idea up to me, what came across was that is part of everything that we do when we go, because it's all archaeology tells the story of the Bible. And
That's
so inadvertently, it's what we do. And so just to really be able to focus on it is such a cool idea. And the brilliance of how they built things and how God directed things, and just it's unbelievable. And so I'm just really excited to focus this direction.
well. You said that to me, and it really made something pop when you said, "Well, basically, anything we see is leftover buildings,
Yeah.
that withstood the test of time." And that's pretty cool to think about. You another quick touch point. We're talking to a community of builders. Now, this trip's going to be open to anybody. It's going to be a fantastic trip,
Yeah.
tour to the Holy Lands, regardless of your approach or your background.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
but a lot of people in the builders community obviously are builders of some sort. And you shared an article with me that gave some more detail to Jesus being referred to as a tecton, correct?
Yes.
Which is something along the lines of a general contractor than
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a carpenter,
Yeah.
per se. He was just more general, so he involved all that.
He
Flesh
knew
that out a little more.
everything. Yeah, we often think of, I think when we study the Bible or Jesus in the Bible or Joseph, um, that it was, hey, you know how to work with wood or stone, but it's way more than that. There is a passage, you're right, that if you can't find the sage in the village, go find the carpenter, because they're the next brilliant and the one who can direct you in things you're going to do. And we know that Joseph was a carpenter, the father of Jesus, and that Jesus followed him in that trade and worked with him. And they're the ones that had to do everything. You're right, with the general contractor, they had to know the costs for materials, what kind of materials to use, who to get to help build, to know all the facets and ins and outs of how to do everything and make something work. That's who they were. So it's much more than we perceive when we just quickly read through the story.
Yeah, that's really cool, and we'll flesh that out some more. I still have a quiet project that I'm working on called the Builder's Bible, and it's
I know,
from
I'm so
A to Z,
excited.
all of that. And we'll one of these days it'll be out there. I'll let it go a little at a time, but I'm excited about
Mhm.
that. Well, so the dates for this trip are March 7 through 17, 2021.
Yes.
And in the comments of this, or excuse me, in the description of this post, I've got a link So it's registration's open. It's up on the Center for Holy Land Study sites, ready to register, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Yes, and I want to make one particular note. It says on the right side of the page for the trip, it says teacher and hosts. And Lacey and I are up at the top, my wife Lacey, and then Jeremy and Faith Godwin, and then Amy. Amy's the teacher. Jeremy and I are hosts, and we'll let Amy guide us in what our part is in terms of teacher. But host, yes.
I think you probably
Student,
have
yes.
some really great things to say. So we'll just all knock it out of the park together.
Yeah, and hey, Lacey, my Lacey's in here with me, and I just wanted to say hello. So Lacey will be on the
Hi,
trip.
Lacey.
Let's see, I go this. And we're really excited to travel with you. Amy's a lot of fun, and you get Amy and Lacey together and a few others. It's going to be a party.
Yeah, it will be a good trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Anything to say,
Yeah.
babe?
Yep. You should definitely join us. It's going to be amazing. And I agree with Ryan. Amy is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank you. We'll do this every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, couple of things I just thought we'd talk about is some places we'll see, and one of the things you mentioned is anything Herod the Great built is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
What's one of those things that pops that we'll get to experience?
Oh, there are so many. Herod builds the most unbelievable cities and structures in places where you wouldn't think one could exist. So we're going to go to Caesarea. It's one of our first sites, and it's just a very large city that was built by Herod the Great, a port city right on the Mediterranean. Once you see the structures, it's impossible sometimes to know how they were built.
Right.
Like the walls of the temple, even. There are stones in that wall that are so large and off ground level that we don't even know how.
Hey, I'm not sure what happened, but we just lost Amy and it just kind of went away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video and relaunch in just a moment when I get Amy back on. So, hey, thank you for watching. Part 2 coming in just a moment. Yeah, that was weird. So, hey, friends, we're back here. It just stopped on us, our live video interview, but Amy's still there. I'm still here. And you were talking about some of the big stones on the temple. Now I got to click show and stream, and it's bringing you up on here as well with me. There we go. Now you said that some of the how big some of the stones are at the temple, and I've heard about one that's as heavy, they say, as a 747.
Yeah, it's about the size. It's just the biggest stone and it's off the ground. We don't know how they got it there, but they were masters. They were so good at what they did. They even built things. If you stand far back, they built them at a curve so that when you're far away, it looks like a straight line. They were brilliant in everything that they built. So anything that Herod put his hands on, we'll go to most of those places, and they're amazing.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to that. A couple of other, okay, so sometimes there's a lot of questions people have about going to Israel, everything from, I'm sure, from safety to what do I pack to all that sort of thing. And I just want to note on the website, you'll have a great website down towards the bottom of our page. It's got it answers all those questions, FAQs.
Yes.
And
we're always here. You can call us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you send a pre-trip kind of info pack that's got all the details,
We do.
5 or so weeks out.
Yeah, we send a backpack for you. We send you a pre-trip packing list. I have one right here.
Hey, there we go.
Has a lot of the information that you need in it. We send you a really cool notebook, which has site information. We send you your luggage tags. We send you a journal. It's like opening a really neat gift before you get to go to Disney World, but instead it's to Israel.
And another thing that is in there that I love so much is this Experience Israel journal. This thing is really fantastic. And it has a lot of great information, but not only does it have the info, it's got a personal reflection page for each one of the sites that we visit, which is really cool. So you'll have the information at hand, and each site we visit, you can make your reflections and
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
exactly what you experienced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
We built that to have just tons of information for people. It has definitions to words we use, has all the time periods, thankfully. So it's just a really, really helpful book.
Yeah, I appreciate this resource. It's really adds a ton of value to the trip. So the way to register is you just click on the link below and you can the
Yeah.
registration's there. Any other final thoughts, Amy, before we conclude today?
I would just say you said this trip is for anyone to join. You are going to gain an enormous amount of knowledge, but also a lot of spiritual depth, I think, from this trip. We will focus on a lot of the building and what happened and why they happened. Why did Nehemiah build that wall in 52 days? We'll get to see it. You know, why? Because there's a plan behind all of these things. And God is involved in all of it. And so it's just amazing to go and see what was built, where these things took place. It just hits you. It's hard to explain it until you've done it. But once you've done it, I'm telling you, it does something for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
I just encourage anybody to come and join us. We're going to have such a good time filled with knowledge, but a lot of spiritual devotion as well, and just have fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's excellent. You mentioned Nehemiah. One of the things I loved about Nehemiah building the wall, we'll call that done for now with Amy, and something's going on there. But one of the things I love about Nehemiah is he built that wall with in 52 days with all volunteers. And hey, there she is. So he built that wall in 52 days with all volunteers
Yes.
and included men, women, goldsmiths, perfumers, priests,
Yes.
government workers, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's cool is it was all volunteer labor,
Yep.
which is how we build many of our buildings.
It's true. That's true.
Here we are 2,000 years later, and some of that wall's still there,
It is.
and
Yep.
which we might get to see some of.
We will see it.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so that'll be great. Well,
Yeah.
Amy, thank you so much for your time today. Really looking forward to the trip, and can't wait to travel with some of our friends to
Yeah.
have the experience of the Holy Lands.
It'll be great. Thank you, Ryan.
All right, we'll be in touch. God bless.
Okay.
Thank you again.
You
Now,
too. Thanks so much.
okay,
Bye,
bye-bye.
everybody.